Hello everyone, this is Barbecue Boy doing a long awaited review of three of my favorite knives. I have a lot of favorites, but these obviously hold a lot of sentimental value for me. Being a Christian, this knife, when I use it on a daily basis, there are constant reminders when I'm being a bad person, I guess you could say, or not really doing what I should be doing, that hey, Christ died on the cross for me, forgave me of my sins, and He sacrificed everything for me. And this reminds me, quit being a spoiled brat, or quit being selfish, be more kind to people, to do right, to be honest, and so forth. That's not to say I don't stumble, I don't fall in my daily walk, but being a Christian for me is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, especially having such a rebellious, well, I don't want to say rebellious, such a crazy lifestyle before I turned my life over to Christ. I have a lot of friends who are Jewish and Catholic or whatnot, and other faiths, and we speak a lot about our faiths, and we never have any harsh words towards each other. We have disagreements, but we respect each other and we love each other. So, and even they appreciate these knives. So, with no further ado, let me talk about these here. And what we have here are Chris Reeve Sebenzas. We have a small regular, a small 21 with Damascus, and also this regular is S30V, and this large 21 is also S30V. This here small regular was my first Chris Reeve Sebenza, or Chris Reeve knife period, I think. It's been several years, but I think it's possible that this was my first, or a Menandy, Chris Reeve Menandy was my first. But this is the one knife I would never sell. It's a little harder to get. I just happened to be browsing through the Chris Reeve knives photo section in blade forums, came across this design, and it took me a long time to find this knife. Once I saw it, I had to have it. I contacted dealers, contacted everyone. I contacted pretty much everyone except for Chris Reeve knives. At the time, I didn't know much about the knives. I just loved the design. And so I found the guy who helped design this. His name was Tall Paul. And he's a pretty tall fella, I believe. And this came from his personal collection. So he sold me this from his personal collection. And ever since then, that's really what really kind of married me into the Chris Reeve family, so to speak. But regardless, this design is called the Calvary design. Now let's look a little closely. You can see here the three crosses, and what that is symbolic to. The stone here is red. I believe it's called almandine stone. That represents the blood of Christ. Then we have, if you look even closer, this doesn't really pick up that well. There's a little, it's supposed to be a bird. It's got a little swoop here. It might be able to pick up on another knife. See it there? To the right of the stone, just beneath the sun ray. That it symbolizes the Holy Spirit. So the reason why I have three is because I have three children. And hopefully one day they will follow my walk. I can lead by a good example, and they would want to carry these one day, to hope mold who they are, and this would be a constant reminder to be who they should be in the Christian faith. Now, let's talk about the knives. I carry these in their pouches, the smalls, no clip, just to protect the finish. The pouches are getting kind of molded to the knife. You can kind of see, I love these pouches. These are great. And This knife here was a love-hate relationship at first. It wasn't until I finally, I've been to Blade a few times. I've met and spoke with Chris Reeve many times. And I finally took this to Blade last year. It was always very, very rough, very hard to open and close. It was very stiff. Even after I broke it in, you use it, I just could not figure out for the life of me what this problem was with this knife. And it was always a little off-center. And I just gave up on it. All my other 15, 30 Chris Reeve knives, I never had a problem. But this one here gave me a hard time. Took it to Mr. Reeve last year. I said, hey, Chris, I'm having an issue. Fix it. Within about 10 minutes, him playing with it, tuning it, is perfect. It's very smooth. It doesn't, the blade does drop freely. So, I love it when the blade drops freely. Not too freely, because I still want it to be able to break in over time. Because as you know, eventually if it breaks too freely, too loose, that just speeds up the breaking in process, and eventually you'll start to get some possible blade play up and down, from what I remember, or one of my other knives. But of course, you always send it in to Chris Reeve knives, and they'll fix it up brand new, no problems. So this one here will go to one of my children. My daughter's the oldest, then I have two boys. More than likely, this may go to her. Then my other child, let me go back to these knives. So after having this knife for a while, I wanted a large. This was my first large Sebenza. It's very beautiful. You can see the purples in the hills. It goes to bronze, to gold, to yellow, and back to a little bit of purple again. From different angles, it just changes colors. It's awesome. And again, the stone there. And this knife here, could be a little dirty, just a little bit. See, that does not break freely at all, but it's still very smooth. No grit, nothing. Very smooth. And I do pocket carry this one. Still looks pretty good actually after about 2-3 years of carrying this. And then the third, I just received this about 6 months ago. I had it on order, completely forgot about it. Heather from Chris Reeve called me one day and said, "Hey, your knife's ready." I said, "Uh-oh, I forgot all about it. Let me get some money together here." I don't have any credit cards, so it caught me by surprise. But no problem. I got it within. I got it to my house in about 3 days. But this one here is great. Look at the coloration on that knife. Again, no pocket clip. It resides in the leather sheath. This does say, this does say Idaho made on it, which to me is upside down. Let me focus here. It should be the other way. This has the ladder Damascus. I ordered it with the spirograph, but they had just decided to quit making it, so I opted for the ladder. I've had some other Chris Reeve knives with the raindrop, and figured the ladder would be a little bit change of pace. I'm glad I went with it. I'm actually really liking it. There's more contrast in this Damascus than I was expecting, because I have seen some where the Damascus just really wasn't that great. But in my opinion, this combination is stellar. It's awesome. I actually might order another blade for the large 21 here in either ladder. Well, I was waiting to see what kind of Damascus they may come out with. Supposedly, Chris Reeve is working on some other patterns. This here does not drop freely that much either. No problem. So, guys, if you have any questions, I really want to share this with you because this is not a common pattern to see. It took me about 6 months to get both each time. But I just wanted to show off the beauty of it. That's the main purpose of this video. And of course, also to give my testimony, a little bit of my testimony. Most people don't care to hear about Christian people and their faiths, but I recognize I am a Christian, and I am flawed. I sin. I do things I should not do. I confess. A lot of people, even some of my own friends, are turned off by Christians and their hypocrisy. But, you show me one person who's not a hypocrite in some way or another. You show me one person who's not flawed. But with my wife and my children and my business, I try to honor God. And this reminds me too. But guys, thanks for watching, and tune in. Thank you.